Do you like talking about Quidditch? Because we do.
Yeah, we do.
Welcome back to the third episode of The Pitch. We're excited to have you back, and we're also excited about our episode.
So excited, in fact, that we couldn't wait until Sunday to get this out to you. We had to put it out early.
Yeah, we did. But there's actually more reasons than just the excitement. There are 2 tournaments happening this weekend, and we really wanted to be able to preview them for you. So that's why we're putting it out Thursday/Friday instead of Sunday/Monday.
Right.
So we look forward to doing that, and we're also going to do a tip from the pitch like we do every episode.
every two episodes.
All 2 episodes, every episode.
So by every, I mean the past 2 episodes. We're going to continue along that trend and have another tip from the pitch for you this week.
Now this week's tip from the pitch is going to be a little bit unique because I'm in fact not doing it this week.
Cody.
You are not doing the tip.
No one's going to
pitch?
watch if Cody's not doing the tip from the pitch.
I think they will watch our very own The Professor with his professor in his ear here.
Cody, I'm not a professor.
You're the professor.
I am the professor.
With his professor.
I'm just a professor.
Not just any professor.
Will be professing on all things regarding beaters for this week's tip of the
I
pitch.
should probably prepare something then.
Yeah, you should. Prepare away.
Well, while you prepare, we're going to go ahead and jump into the tournament previews for you. The first tournament that's happening is hosted by OSU.
That's Oklahoma State University, in case anybody's not aware of that acronym.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State University is hosting the Cowboy Cup, and it's kind of turned into a pretty big deal.
That's right. It started off very small, I think, just kind of a local tournament they were going to have, and it really blew up into, I think there were 11, 12 teams coming down for that tournament.
And the only team we know from there, or the team that I've seen, is TCU, and we saw them at the World Cup.
Right.
But that's really the extent of my knowledge on it. And
so I think most of the teams that are coming are from the Midwestern-ish area, and we're not necessarily experts in Midwest Quidditch,
right.
And so we want you to have all the information and expert opinions that you need, and so anytime we can't provide that for you, we try to bring somebody else in. And so today we have Mark from OSU, who is actually one of the people that's going to be hosting the Cowboy Cup, and so if it's all right with you, we're just going to jump right in and tell us what's going on this weekend, Mark.
Hello, my name is Mark Woolard, captain of the OSU Quidditch team, and I'm here today to talk about our first ever tournament to be held at OSU. This tournament will be spanning 5 states throughout the nation, and will be host to 12 teams. This is a lot because we had originally planned for only 6 teams, and then the past week it has ballooned over to 12. So we've had a lot on our plates trying to get everything as organized and ready. Hope everything works out. Here we go. And some of you folks out there might be visual learners, so maybe this will help. Ascendo. The 12 teams at the tournament are going to be Kansas University, Arkansas Tech University, Oklahoma Baptist University, Wichita State University, Texas Christian University, Doane College, Nebraska, Southwestern Oklahoma State University, University of Arkansas Fort Smith, Jenks High School, University of Arkansas Razorbacks, Oklahoma State University, and Booker T. Washington High School. As for predictions for this tournament, I'm going to have to go with the IQA rankings and say Kansas University is going to take it. But I don't know. They said they weren't bringing their A team, so maybe an Oklahoma team will win. As far as I know, Southwestern Oklahoma State is coming in a second close, followed by WSU. My top 4 teams for this tournament, definitely Kansas University for the win. And in second, it's a close tie between Wichita State University and Southwestern Oklahoma State University. Fourth, I don't know. Could be anybody. I'm thinking probably University of Arkansas Razorbacks, but I'm going to go with Oklahoma Baptist University. They're a pretty good team, and this will be their debut. Me and my president have already went and scoped out the competition, and they were pretty awesome. Well, I guess that about wraps it up. I don't have anything else to add other than go Pokes, and good luck to all the teams coming to the tournament. I'd also like to include a thank you and a shout out to all the teams coming. Without your cooperation and support, I know this tournament wouldn't be able to go off without a hitch. Thanks, and good luck.
Thanks, Mark. That was great. Now, y'all, I'm really excited about this tournament. I'm really excited to see how it's going to pan out because, frankly, I'm excited about this young Midwest Quidditch region. I'm excited to see the future of Midwest Quidditch.
Yes, so next time we'll definitely get you a recap of the Cowboy Cup, so
Awesome.
you can find out not only who won the tournament, but who the teams to look out for are, maybe their strengths, weaknesses. We'll try to get
Definitely
you
footage.
some
footage.
highlights, the holy grail of Quidditch reporting. Is that a bludger?
Just a bludger out of nowhere.
Segue. So beating, right?
Oh, that's convenient. I was just about to talk about beating.
Awesome.
So let's go on to this week's tips from the pitch. So today we've got a pretty sweet situational beating drill. So let's take it to the pitch.
There are essentially two different kinds of drills that you can run. The first being a skill drill, which uses repetition to build muscle memory, and the second being a situational drill, which tries to emulate a scenario you might run into on the pitch. This is going to be the second. Welcome to the last line of defense. This drill emulates a fast break by the opposing team when the only defense available is one beater with a bludger and a keeper. The drill starts out as 2-on-2, and what the beater really needs to be aware of is that if he's only able to neutralize one of the chasers, he's not doing his job correctly. This is a great drill to work on forcing a pass and then turning to quickly and accurately hit the intended receiver. If you want to ratchet the difficulty level up a notch, try starting out with your defenders facing the opposite direction so they have less time to react, or add a third offensive chaser into the mix.
Hey, thanks, Jacob. That was really insightful. However, better beaters are going to make my world a lot harder.
Bitter about better beaters.
That's so bad, Sarah.
Oh no, we can't keep that.
Are you kidding me?
Oh.
That was good.
Okay. In any case, Cody, I'm sorry, it's nothing personal. I'm just trying to advance the sport in general. So
Yeah.
if that makes your life more difficult at tournaments, I apologize.
No, Jacob, it makes a lot of sense. I want the Quidditch world to get better as well, but like Sarah said, I am a little bit better about better beaters.
Oh, when he says it, it's cool. It's good when he says it.
Let's move on to our next topic. Kind of a big deal, the Western Cup.
The Western Cup is a big deal. There's
Yes.
a lot of teams going. It's going to be a really competitive tournament hosted out in California. It's kind of an extravaganza of sorts, really. There's even a formal hosted before it.
A Western formal.
That sounds right up our alley. I don't think I was invited.
I didn't get invited.
I was invited. It's whatever. No, I really wasn't invited, but we are on the Western page.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, those people talk a lot.
It's kind of hard to keep up with what happens on the Western page.
They do talk a lot, however, I've got to be honest, if not for my own region, the Southern region, got a little bit of a regional crush for the Western Cup,
Oh.
Western Coast.
The truth comes out.
Oh, you know what they say? They do say, West Coast, best coast.
Oh my gosh.
They say a lot of things, Cody. That is one of the things that they say.
They do say a lot of things.
And they're going to say a little bit more this episode because we have two people, true Westerners, that are going to be joining us and kind of giving us a preview
Awesome.
on the Western Cup. It's going to be probably the most on topic they've ever been, and we're looking forward to it. And
So-
again, they're experts on it.
Yeah, so Kevin and Dan are both going to give us their projections, who they think is going to walk away holding the Western Cup.
It's awesome. Go ahead, guys.
Hi guys, I'm Kevin Olsey. I'm a co-captain of the Silicon Valley Scroots, and I'm here to give you guys a little rundown on some things you might want to be looking for at the Western Cup. So, first off, we have a couple of teams that are probably the best-known teams in the West in Arizona State and UCLA. And Arizona State won the entire Western Cup last year, and UCLA advanced all the way to the quarterfinals this year before being knocked out by Middlebury. And so I'm going to try to focus most of my time on some other teams that I would not be surprised at all to see holding up the metaphorical Western Cup at the end of the tournament. So I'm going to start with the University of Southern California. Now, USC got second place last year at the Western Cup, and we had played them a couple times in the tournament. I felt, you know what? I think I got a pretty good handle on this team, and so I showed up to watch them at the World Cup thinking I'd know what to expect. And, of course, they were a completely different team than I had seen before. Their best player at the Western Cup was Charlie Caprone, who was their keeper, the infamous number, who did most of their goal scoring. And, of course, he was a beater by the time the World Cup hit. And he helped lead a very, very vicious beating attack that's almost eerily reminiscent of the way UCLA plays. Helped along by Spencer Gold, Nick Tesabrino, Julia Thomas. It's a very, very solid team. And to help balance it out, they have a very nice chaser keeper play anchored by August Lurs, who did a massive, massive amount of scoring at the World Cup and basically turned it into his own coming-out party. Secondly, another team that you may want to keep your eye on is up from the Bay Area, the Cal Berkeley Bears. Now, Cal is a little different from the other teams, and I mean, they have strong beaters. Any good team is going to have strong beaters, but that's a game that's anchored by a phenomenal, phenomenal passing game. Most of their offense runs through Gavin Saldana, or as many people at the Western Cup last year called him, D-Wade. But their entire chaser line is really, really solid top to bottom. They space out beautifully, and their passing game is reliable and quick and efficient. And if they happen to go, they're all really athletic, and so they'll win lots of foot races and pick up lots of spare quaffles. But the reason why you really need to keep your eye on Cal is they have, for my money, the best seeker in the West, and if not the best seeker that I've seen in Donovan McNiff, which is a very, very powerful, powerful weapon. I mean, a lot of top teams want to put the opponents out of snitch range, which is a great thing to do. You give them no chance of winning. But I have never seen Donovan fail to catch a snitch in games, and I've seen a lot of Cal's games played. And that's a really powerful weapon to feel that, hey, if you're not losing by more than 30, you're going to win 80-90% of your games. That'll give Cal a very, very good chance if they can hold on against some of the top teams. And they've got a good team even without Donovan, and I think they have a chance to do it. But finally, I'm going to go with the team that I think is both the most interesting, and if I were to pick, along with UCLA, it would be one of the two odds-on favorites to win the Western Cup, and that's the Utah Crimson Flyers. Now, the Utah Crimson Flyers have always placed solidly at the Western Cup and the World Cup. They tied for the first place in their pool, along with Kansas and Hofstra, and ended up getting a second seed before bowing out to Texas A&M in the World Cup. And that team was anchored by a really, really strong chaser trio involving Brady Groves, Matt Williams, and George Willis, who basically seemed to always know where the other ones were, arced perfect passes, and just were really hard to stop. Well, George is on his mission now, and so he's not going to be playing. But this Utah team hasn't rebuilt. They've reloaded beyond belief. Because given that they're a community team, there's no restrictions about playing for a university, and so there's a lot of people traveling from afar from the Western Cup, and a lot of them are going to be joining that Utah team. And so, in particular, people you may have heard of before would be people like Molly Lensing and Becca DuPont from Texas A&M, or Sarah Nealing and the one and only Honey Badger-Armenter from LSU, and Zach D'Amico from Villanova. And so, armed with this, they're going to be about a 12 or 13 deep squad that feels almost more like an all-star team than an actual team, combined with what was already a very, very solid core of the Utah team. I mean, any of these teams I think could take the entire thing, but if I had to pick one, my money is going to be on Utah.
Dan Hansen here, co-captain of the newly formed Lost Boys Quidditch Club out of Los Angeles, and I would love to say that my team of hardened veterans and bachelor's degree holders will take the Western Cup. But that would be too bold. The competition is just too good. Major World Cup contenders will be competing for the Western Cup, who are getting better at a rate that should scare the rest of the country. Interestingly enough, we have a fair chunk of the rest of the country coming to the tournament. Players from LSU, Kansas, Emerson, Texas A&M, and Villanova will be manifesting their destinies to play for teams in a truly unique conference in the IQA. Unfortunately for the rest of the teams in the West, most of that collection of skilled and dedicated players will be competing under the banner of the Utah Crimson Flyers. The Crimson Flyers have built up an impressive resume. Utah Snow Cup champions, a solid rank of 20 in this past year's World Cup, and of course, they are perennial fan favorites. They already have an incredibly skilled core of chasers and beaters who can score and defend with the best teams, and they're adding a handful of superstars, such as Molly Lensing from A&M at beater and Brad Armenter from LSU at chaser. Now, I'd like to say that the Crimson Flyers' lack of experience together as a team will be their downfall against the cohesive units they'll be up against. And I'd like to say that USC has a chip on their shoulder to finally get a win against their ultimate rival, UCLA. But I just can't bring myself to bet against the odds like that. The Crimson Flyers and UCLA are just too solid as teams. Against such competition, defending Western Cup champion ASU will have a nearly impossible task of getting to the finals, as will a team like Cal, who is ranked 14th in the World Cup. Those 5 teams, the Crimson Flyers, USC, UCLA, ASU, and Cal, are the major contenders to win the Western Cup. But barring an upset, the final should see the Utah Crimson Flyers' dream team squared off against UCLA. UCLA just happens to be excellently matched up against the Flyers. They are a team with deep talent who can put several playmakers in a chaser at the same time, with the ability to pass around defenses that is still rare in the IQA. But their real strength lies with their beater core. Steven Tindula and Asher King Abramson are smart, accurate, and have cannons that make it nearly impossible to dodge, catch, or block their bludgers. Not to mention, their second line of beaters can match up with any good team's starters. The Flyers just don't have the means to develop their passing game in one weekend enough to get around UCLA's beaters in defense. It should be a great matchup, and UCLA is likely to take home a much-deserved championship trophy, and should be seen as one of the top teams in contention for the 2013 World Cup. You heard it here first, on the pitch.
Thanks guys, the Western Cup looks like it's going to be pretty epic,
Yeah, it
and
does.
even though we can't be there, we're excited to see what happens at it. Seems like UCLA versus Utah,
Yeah,
game to watch.
those are two really strong teams.
And if those teams end up playing each other, we should actually be able to watch pretty much the whole game, because we've assembled a team of videographers, if you will, that are going to be at the Western Cup, that are going to be gathering footage for us, which we will then be able to share with you.
That's
Next
awesome.
episode, so that's exciting.
Well, let me tell y'all something that I'm truly excited about. It's another competition going on right now. It's to find out who the greatest chaser in the Quidditch world is.
Cody, are you talking about the Hunger Games?
I am indeed. I am indeed.
If you haven't been on the Golden Snitchies Tumblr recently, I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
It's a really creative concept that I think will be pretty entertaining to see play out over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
It seems really awesome. Basically what happens is, it takes what you love about the Hunger Games and what you love about Harry Potter, Quidditch, and it brings it together into this epic battle royale that leaves one chaser standing. Now, while I feel it could have used a feminine touch,
I'm actually pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about the chasers chosen. I think they're really great.
this is just shameless self-promotion. That's what that is.
Listen.
I'm just saying.
The Golden Snitchy. Don't kill me off. I think I'm too strong of a player.
Cody's too strong. It's not realistic. No one would believe that he actually died.
Regardless, we're excited to see the outcome of it and how it plays out,
Yeah,
and we
absolutely.
think you should be too.
Well, thanks y'all. This was a really great episode. And to our viewers, we'd like to make a request of you. Please send in your videos. Please send in your footage. We would like to see you on the pitch.
If you have a really epic drill that your team does or a cool plays from tournaments past, share it with us. We want to share it with the world.
Yeah, you could be the next person hosting Tips from the Pitch.
It could be tips from the pitch with insert your name here.
Ah, insert your name here is so knowledgeable about Quidditch.
Oh yes, they know everything.
So smart.
They know everything.
Or your team could be featured on our montage. If you send us in footage, you could be the montage.
It could be you! So, a lot of awesome things that we want to do with the footage and have this collaboration.
Alright, well, thanks for watching, y'all, and we'll see you on the pitch.